Porting a cylinder head is a precise and intricate process aimed at optimizing the flow of air and fuel into the engine and the exit of exhaust gases out. When performed correctly, cylinder head porting can significantly increase an engine's efficiency, power, and responsiveness. The first and most fundamental step in the porting process is port matching, a critical procedure that ensures the passages between the intake and exhaust manifolds and the cylinder head itself align perfectly for the smoothest possible flow. Let's explore the port matching process step by step, understanding the tools, techniques, and attention to detail required for an effective result. Port matching begins with careful preparation. The cylinder head is removed from the engine and thoroughly cleaned. All gasket surfaces must be free of old gasket material, carbon buildup, and contaminants. This clean base is essential, as any debris can interfere with accurate marking and subsequent material removal. The next step involves marking the areas for port matching. Place the intake and exhaust manifold gaskets onto the corresponding sides of the cylinder head. Ensure they are properly aligned with the bolt holes and seating surfaces. Using a permanent marker or a sharp scribe, carefully trace the inside edges of the gasket openings onto the cylinder head's port surfaces. This creates a visible outline, highlighting the exact areas where the port openings should be enlarged to match the gasket dimensions. Once the outlines are traced, examine each port closely. The goal is to identify any mismatches, areas where the port opening in the cylinder head is smaller than the gasket opening, potentially restricting airflow. These are the zones that require careful removal of material. It's important to note that enlarging the ports beyond the size of the gasket can lead to sealing issues, turbulence, and a loss of velocity in the intake and exhaust flow, which can actually harm performance. Therefore, restraint and precision are paramount. With the port outlines marked, the process of material removal begins. The primary tool for this task is a die grinder, fitted with a cylindrical or oval-shaped carbide burr. The die grinder should be operated at a medium speed, typically between 15,000 and 20,000 revolutions per minute. This speed range allows for effective cutting without generating excessive heat or causing the burr to chatter, which could damage the port surface. Begin grinding by making small, controlled passes along the marked areas. The objective is to gradually remove material, staying within 1/16 of an inch, about 1.5 millimeters, of the gasket edge. This safety margin prevents over-enlarging the port, which could compromise the integrity of the cylinder head or create sealing problems with the gasket. As you work, periodically stop to check your progress. Use the gasket as a template, realigning it over the port to ensure you are approaching, but not exceeding, the desired outline. The key to successful port matching is patience and control. Never rush the process, as removing too much material too quickly can lead to irreversible mistakes. Instead, focus on achieving a uniform, symmetrical enlargement of each port, following the traced outline as a guide. This careful approach ensures that all ports are consistently matched, providing balanced airflow across all cylinders. After the initial shaping with the cylindrical or oval burr, attention turns to smoothing the transitions between the newly enlarged port openings and the existing port runners inside the cylinder head. This is where a ball or tree-shaped burr becomes invaluable. These shapes allow for more precise blending and contouring, enabling the technician to create a smooth, gradual transition from the gasket-matched opening into the deeper regions of the port. The goal here is to eliminate any abrupt steps or sharp edges, which can cause turbulence as air and fuel enter the combustion chamber or as exhaust gases exit. Turbulence disrupts the smooth, laminar flow necessary for optimal engine performance, reducing velocity and potentially causing uneven fuel distribution. By carefully blending the ported area into the port runner, you ensure that the airflow remains streamlined and efficient. While working with the ball or tree-shaped burr, use light, sweeping motions, gently feathering the transition zone. Pay special attention to the roof and floor of the port, as these areas are most critical for directing the airflow. Avoid removing excessive material from the port floor, as this can negatively affect the flow path and reduce the velocity of the incoming air-fuel mixture. As the blending process continues, periodically inspect your work. Run your finger along the transition to feel for any ridges or rough spots. A well-blended port should feel smooth and consistent, with no discernible steps between the gasket-matched opening and the port runner. This tactile inspection is as important as the visual check, ensuring that no subtle imperfections are overlooked. Throughout the port matching process, cleanliness is essential. Metal shavings and dust generated during grinding must be regularly cleared away to prevent contamination of the work area and to maintain visibility. Use compressed air or a soft brush to remove debris, and always wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and a dust mask, to protect yourself from airborne particles. Once all ports have been matched and blended, the final step is a thorough cleaning of the cylinder head. All grinding residues, metal filings, and dust must be removed before reassembly. Pay particular attention to the port interiors, as any leftover debris can be drawn into the engine, causing damage or performance issues. Port matching is just the first step in the broader process of cylinder head porting, but it is foundational. By ensuring that the ports align perfectly with their respective gaskets and manifold passages, you lay the groundwork for enhanced airflow, improved combustion, and greater engine efficiency. The techniques of careful marking, controlled material removal, and meticulous blending are the hallmarks of quality porting work. In conclusion, port matching requires a steady hand, a keen eye, and a deep respect for precision. It's a process where patience pays dividends and attention to detail makes all the difference. Whether performed as part of a professional engine build or a dedicated enthusiast's project, proper port matching is a vital step toward unlocking the true potential of your engine's cylinder head.